Impressed, we never have a dinner. Now we have a recipe. Used to have a friend, now we have an enemy. Sound clash, we are the boldest. Jah bless him, our soldiers. I just thought you should know this. We praise Jah like Moses, who no fear, no opposes. Here we go again. Everything I Chris from them. Everything I good top 10. Jah bless my fam. Jah bless my team. We work hard for the dream, yeah.
DJ Wildfire, the number one DJ for afternoon drive time experience. On the 187.3 FM radio, I'm a whole place governed. I said that. Lock it down. Martin, full stock and pack it down. Boom.
Oh man, that tune was so dope.
An essential dance floor classic. Essential dance floor classic. An essential dance floor classic.
This is the end station, but I can't move away from you. This is the edge of patience, but you won't prove yourself to me. Still you drain my soul, and even though it hurts, I can't slow down. Walls are closing in and I hit the ground. Whispers of tomorrow echo in my mind. Just one last time. Even though it hurts, I can't slow down. Walls are closing in and I hit the ground. Whispers of tomorrow echo in my mind. Just one last time. Just one last time. Just one last time. Just one last time. There comes a time for us to part. Then right back to the start. And I know what I'm supposed to do. Can't get myself away from you. Oh, you drain my soul, and even though it hurts, I can't slow down. Walls are closing in and I hit the ground. Whispers of tomorrow echo in my mind. Just one last time. Even though it hurts, I can't slow down. Walls are closing in and I hit the ground. Whispers of tomorrow echo in my mind. Just one last time. Just one last time.
Essential Dance Floor Classic.
Spin that tune for me, DJ. Spin that tune for me, DJ.
Oh man, that tune was so dope.
All right, sounds of David Guetta featuring T-Rai with Just One Time. It's 15:30 yours and our time on the drive. It is the 1873 FM Drive Time Radio. Lockdown Radio, we should call it. All right. On the other side, joined by Emmanuel Zwada. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Yourself? How is Zimbabwe this afternoon?
Zimbabwe is quite good. Zimbabwe is quite good.
All right. It's been a minute. It's been a while. And your thoughts on what is happening around the world currently?
Okay. Thank you, MC. I hope you can hear me and the listeners can hear me as well.
Yeah, I can hear you. But you're a bit faint, though.
I'm a bit faint. Let me
yes, you
adjust
are.
to my. Just wait a minute. Then I adjust to my. Can you hear me?
The Afternoon Drive, Monday to Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. Central African Time.
The drive to come here, seek opportunity.
The drive, the afternoon drive. That makes sense. Yes.
Let us see if we can hear you loud and clear.
You can hear me now.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, the levels are good.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get to it, Emmanuel. Your thoughts, your take on the current happenings around the globe?
Wow, thank you. The epidemic is affecting every country, and slowly it is moving to Africa, and Africa has been affected, and no nation, no country is being left. So as an analyst, as someone who thinks ahead, I was just thinking, what if this is going to be the new status quo? Because in other countries, just like your country, you're on lock-in, you're working from home, and up to 21 days, I'm sure. What if this is the new status quo? And what if this COVID-19 is going to spend 2 years or 1 year or up to December? So I was just thinking of issues that is affecting us and how best can you respond as people and as employees. Number one, we talk of remote work in the future. Is this continuing? Or we'll come to an extent where we'll say, no, it's now fine, we can now come to work. Number two, I was thinking
with what you've said, are you saying we could be seeing a shift in how we conduct work on a daily basis, where going to an office become an absolute, and people starting to work more and more from home?
Exactly, MC. That's what I'm trying to say. We are likely to see the shift in the model which used to be done long back before we have been hit by the COVID-19. Everyone could come to work. But nowadays, due to the new enactments of laws, the COVID-19, we are seeing people working from home. But still, there is a question that needs to be addressed by the listeners and relevant authorities. Is it possible to work from home when employers are not capacitating their employees to work from home? Number two,
this also, Emmanuel, goes back to the issue of the costs that are involved with one working from home. It means you gotta have the right gadgets. You need a laptop. You need internet connectivity, and we realize that these things are expensive. Internet is expensive for a whole lot of people. So how do companies come into play here?
Exactly. I think they need to be a unified arrangement, an inclusive arrangement between the relevant authorities, the employers, and the government. Because I believe internet is not something that is supposed to be costly. If you go to some other developed countries, those things they are for free, and there is time. This is the right time for service providers such as internet to flex so that they also reduce their tariffs, that people will be in a position to work from home. Because at the end of the day, if we just say we are working from home verbally without the actual work being done, we are likely going to see a very huge decline in productivity. At the end of the day, massive layoffs are soon to take place because employers won't be able to pay salaries. So to those who have access, to the employers who have access to capacitate their employees to work from home, I think this is the right time. You don't just say work from home when you do not capacitate the employee to work from home.
Right. So where do these conversation begin? Is it something that has to be tabled by the governments? Where do we begin?
Yes, it's something that has to be tabled by the relevant authorities, because right now people they are saying 21 days no work, but I think they have also never thought the other side of the future repercussion of no work, or the future repercussion of saying we are working from home when we are not fully capacitating those who are supposed to be at home. So it's something that has to be discussed even via Zoom or whatsoever. Guys, let's reduce tariffs for internet. For example, in Zimbabwe, let's say this thing continues and people will be working from home. How do they work from home when there is no electricity?
Exactly.
So it's something that is very critical, and it's something that is going to affect the countries, usually, especially developing countries. It's something, this COVID-19 is going to have future negative repercussions to these countries because they are just following what other countries are doing. I'm not saying people should remain at work. Hear me, to the listeners. I am saying relevant authorities should liaise with service providers to capacitate employees to have an arrangement where they can work from home.
And I mean, it's. I think it goes back, Emmanuel, to this thing of virtual offices, which are really coming into play. A lot of people resorting to virtual offices and reducing also cost of renting buildings, and with all these technological changes that are happening. I'm sure we'll see a lot of virtual offices coming into play. And obviously, after this whole scourge of the corona or the COVID-19 that has really brought the world to its knees, a lot of these virtual offices and a lot of conversation with stakeholders really need to come to play, right?
That's true. To me, this is a permanent shift. This is a permanent shift towards virtual offices where other companies, they are already, or they've been already making use of technology to do work. In some developed countries, it's not. It was. They were not shocked because they've been used to do this, where people can have meetings over Zoom, meetings over Skype, and whatsoever. One can work from home, but it's something that as Africans we are still yet to adapt, because working from home needs discipline. I was seeing a video. I was seeing a video on YouTube. A guy was wearing a tie, saying, "I'm working from home." He just wear a blazer because his boss was calling. So working from home needs discipline, very huge discipline, because at the end of the day, it's just an environment that they've changed. But you have to make sure that you are doing that which you're supposed to be doing at work, but you'll be doing it at home.
When you look at productivity, Emmanuel, do you think that individuals can be productive working from home, or individuals are only productive when they are confined in an office space where the bosses are there? I think I've seen a lot of bosses that would leave their jacket on their chair, and when you get to the office, you see a jacket in the chair and you assume that the boss is still there, and you go back to your workstation. But now with working from home, are we not going to find a lot of individuals slacking? Like you said, discipline comes into play. But how do we avoid this issue of individuals not being productive because they are working from home, no one is observing and monitoring? Or will there be systems that need to be put in place?
Of course, yes. Systems has to be put in place that really someone is working from home, because we can say someone is working from home when someone is sleeping at home. Also, as I said, discipline is needed to those who are working from home. Those who are well disciplined, they are not limited to places. Irregardless of where you are, you can be productive. But now, I was thinking of something as OMC. It's not always everyone that have got the capability to work from home. Let's look in the manufacturing sector. How are they going to do? It's impossible for some of the employees or some of the employees to work from home.
I mean, that's very true. If you are in manufacturing, you definitely need to be in a factory. But the individuals that are in the IT space, for example, developers, software engineers, accountants, I'm sure they can work remotely.
Yes. But those, again, that are still at work. I understand Comrade President Cyril Ramaphosa said that there are certain sectors that will be left open, like the hospitals and whatsoever. There is need, again, to make sure that we don't overwhelm those that are still at work through rotations and whatsoever. And I believe
that
also there
means
is a sense of
a lot of skilled workers are needed. There's need to employ more nurses, more doctors, and do we have the capacity? Because we've been crying. I think Zimbabwe, South Africa, both countries have been complaining about lack of these specialists.
That's true. But we are faced with a dilemma. It's not lack of specialists, but I think it's also failure to provide salaries and whatsoever for them. But if we hire 10 people who are supposed to be working from 8 to 10 o'clock, there are many ways of managing our costs as a nation and as a company. One thing is we can hire 5 people and let other 5 at home, but there will be more pressure now to the 5 people who are left. Or we remain with 10 of them, but they come on rotational basis and manage our costs. But at the end of the day, MC, I am foreseeing a very huge decline in production, especially due to this COVID-19, because it's something that was not in us to work from home. Believe me, it's a new thing to work from home to many of the people. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine in South Africa. I said, I'm working from home. And she was busy. The radio was on full blast and whatsoever, a lot of distractions. So I am foreseeing a huge distraction in terms of production. And by that, expect, you know, I'm not a prophet, but as someone who sees in the future with an eagle eye, expect very massive layoffs to some companies in the near future, just after this phase.
And globally, Emmanuel, you answered the question, a very pivotal question. Is this new status quo? But globally, how is this affecting? I mean, when we look at the COVID-19 or the coronavirus, how is it affecting the markets? How is it affecting companies? How is it affecting the individuals on the streets who rely on the 9 to 5?
I was reading International Labour Organization. I'm one who is well intact with new information, and it was saying to me that the quantity of jobs and the quantity of unemployment that has happened just in 1 week, from last week to now, is more than 80%. Especially if we talk of the hospitality sector, those who work in the airplanes, cabin crews, because they are closed. So this thing is going to affect many people, and who knows? I was asking myself, who knows if Right now, you've been given 21 days. What if it extends to October?
I mean, there's already talk that it could be extended up to the 22nd of June. It's not verified yet, but I mean, yeah, you can proceed.
Yes, so there is a large chunk of people who have lost employment, and globally, this has affected the working class, those who are working, not those who are working on their own. Of course, some of them are still surviving, but those who are depending solely on end of month salary, they've been affected globally. Right now, I was talking to a friend who was working in Barbados, and she's saying, no, I am not working. She's just stuck there. So it's something that has affected us. Just that we don't have actual figures of the people who have lost their employment, because I understand in the like shipping industry, where cabin crews, they work on contract based, where they are given a 1-year contract or a 2-year contract and renew their contracts. And obviously they were left with no option than to terminate those contracts and give some packages because of this thing. But now, listen.
Okay, and on the productivity versus salaries, that's another item that you wanted to touch on.
Productivity
at the moment, everybody's on lockdown. There's no productivity, but at the end of the month, individuals expect to get something.
That's exactly is something that came into my mind as well. That as far as there are fundamental rights of the employee, the right to get their salaries, how are we going to do it? Because right now we have 21 days of production. Of course, I understand some will argue saying we are still doing work at home or whatsoever, but it won't equate with the actual production that has been taking place. Some also argue that because it's a global pandemic whatsoever. Yes, it's a global one, but still employees might argue that we need their salaries. So I was looking at a situation where production is reduced. At the same time, the employees are demanding their salaries. So on that case, I think it's something that is need to be tabled again, that what are we going to do after 3 months? And let's have some scenarios, what if scenarios, to say, what if this extends for 4 months? Will the employees continue being given the same salaries? The transport allowances that were being given to the employees, are they still getting them? The fuel allowances, are they still getting them? So it's something that needs to be tabled, because at the end of the day, we don't want a situation where production is less, but the employees are demanding more. Will be stuck as an economy. So
this also affects basically both the employer and the employee, but then we need to find an intersection between the two. How best do we deal with this situation? How best do we survive, all of us?
I'm seeing. I want to respond to you saying that I'm
getting a lot of feedback from your end, Emmanuel. I think there's something that's moving. It's giving me a lot of noise.
Okay.
Yeah, I can have you. Did you change your headsets? Maybe you need to go back to the original ones.
Yes, I can hear you.
On that note, I will quickly take a breather. When we come back, I will be wrapping it up with Emmanuel Zwada on The Drive. It is at the 1873 FM. How you doing?
24 hours a day.
Listen, I don't want to take your time up or anything, but I just thought I'd pop in to say that if you don't listen to Ditch, can I have to kill you?
Oh, this is mad. You know that? This is really mad.
Don't you know I got kids out of dream where that church out in church bad, doing that sad, where I holding all the work at. What you know about that? What you know about that? What you know about that? Hey, I know all about that. Loaded fofo on the low where the cheese at. Fresh out the jet to the jets where the G's at. What you know about that? What you know about that? Hey, city, pretty, no shining dog. Ride with a couple Latin bras up China dog. Hey, you know how we ball. Right in the shiny car. Walk in the designer mall. Hey, everything we saw. You know about me, dog. Don't talk about me, dog. And if you doubt me, dog, you better out me, dog. Don't throw off lightning, bro. Don't wanna fight me, bro. Go fast as lightning, bro. You better use your Nikes, bro. You know you don't like me, cuz. Your bitch goes like he does. She see me on the dub. In front of every club. I be on glow, I'm buzz. Give every hole.
At 10 before 4, at Sounds of T.I. with the What You Know. Cam's Pepper Lamborghini, the bootleg on a Friday. How you doing? 21 days at lockdown. How you holding on? Are you behaving? Are you staying away? Are you tempted to go out? If you are tempted to go out, please stay indoors. We are here to work for you. Is that not the case, Emmanuel? Hello, Emmanuel?
Hello, how are you?
Good. Now I can hear you perfectly fine. All right. Now saying we are here to work for the other individuals. They better stay at home so that we reduce the spread of the COVID-19.
Exactly.
All right. So, Emmanuel, as we wrap it up, what are the last words you'd love to leave to the listeners and the viewers as well?
To the listeners, I would like to say that especially those in Africa and low-developed countries, it's quite sad that it's not going to be better anytime soon, but we hope for the best. As I said, remote work in the future is something that is going to happen even if this COVID-19 ends. Number two, COVID-19 and productivity. A lot of production is going to be affected. Hence, your salaries are also going to be affected. Massive layoffs. Let's hope you're not the one. I'm not the one. We talk of religious liberty issues, the right to congregate. With this law that there is not more than 2 people or 3 people, issues to do with social distancing. I don't know what Christians are going to do, Muslims, whatever religion. So religion is going to be carried back in their homes. So you are supposed to congregate in your home with your family or alone if you're a bachelor. Talk of global recession. A lot of recession is taking place. And obviously, South Africa have been depending on other countries also globally, and that is being affected. Talk of right now, there is massive hoarding of goods and services in Zimbabwe because we have been depending also with South Africa. So there is a little bit of confusion, but we hope for the best. I would like to say to my colleagues in South Africa, stay home. Those who have been given work from home, please do your work. It needs discipline to work from home. At the end of the day,
it really does take discipline, and it's not only for the working class, even to those who stay at home individuals. Make sure that you also play your part in adhering to the rules and regulations that have been put in place. And I like the fact that you also touch on the religious leaders. And I've seen quite a number of disturbing videos of pastors saying, "Look, we have faith. Come, let's gather." There's nothing like that. I mean, this is like going to the main road, Emmanuel, and standing in front of a car and saying, "I believe in Jesus."
It's not faith, it's presumption. Faith without works is dead. You don't pray to have good health. You practice hygiene to have good health. So prayer does not substitute your duty, but prayer complements your duty.
Right, true that. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for your time. We'll definitely be touching base with you in more programming so that we continue alerting individuals in terms of what is happening around the world, especially in the HR space. This is an HR nightmare. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
It's a nightmare indeed. It's a nightmare. Thank you.
All right, cheers. It is your drive, the 1873 FM, chatting to Emmanuel Zwada. And to those who are following via social media platforms, thank you for joining us. We shall be leaving you shortly.